Okay. Welcome to
The 2025
Equine Fitness Challenge.
Okay, so this is week 4. My co-host today is Logan. Hopefully he has some commentary. We'll find out. So a couple notes. We're going to increase the amount of trot this week. You're going to be trotting in 5-minute increments, which is kind of taxing. A couple of the gals out here rode for 5-minute increments and they were huffing and puffing. So, yeah, it's gonna
Be ready.
Be ready. Your thighs are gonna be burning. I do recommend, especially because we are increasing the amount of trot into longer increments and your horses are still kind of coming out of winter, I would be doing this trot work in the posting trot or in 2-point to kind of save their backs. We'll also be bringing in some canter work, so you'll have the beginning of canter work for the fitness challenge. And then if you aren't there, don't worry about it. My horses are all on different kind of schedules at this point. I have a couple horses that are just repeating week 1 for a while. Tilly here is on week 3. She's in her 20s, so she needed a little bit more of a slower start. And then Gunner's in the background here. He could easily be on week 6 at the moment. So really see where your horse is. Please use that pulse rate information and see what your horse's recovery time looks like. See what their pulses look like. That's going to be the biggest indicator of whether your horse is really kind of up to the task. If you are unsure, please reach out to me. As far as the strength exercise this week, we're going to be doing what I call the warm-up oval. It's really simple once your horses are more fighting fit. This can be a really easy warm-up sequence for you, and I'm going to demonstrate that in just a minute. We also have a stretch that I didn't come up with. Dr. Martha decided to pop in and give us a demo of one of her favorite stretches, which is called the thoracic pelvic tilt. It's quite fun. Yeah. So Logan, how's the Equine Fitness Challenge for you so far?
Good.
Yeah. Any commentary?
Just make sure you wear your helmets, kids and fellow adults.
Yes. Safety first.
Yep.
What did you think of the strength exercise?
Looked kind of weird, but kind of cool.
Logan is our timer this week. He's been timing. Okay. I think we're good.
Hey everybody, this week for the stretch, I'm going to use Koza here as a demo horse. This week the stretch is a thoracic pelvic tilt, which basically just means that we're stretching through their thorax, which is their chest, and into their pelvis to tilt their pelvis a little bit, which opens up their vertebral column. So you're going to want to start with them square. Koza's not perfect, but he's pretty square. And then you're going to pick up a leg just like you would to pick a hoof. And then you're going to have one hand on their pastern and one hand on the inside of their forearm. And I like to use my leg as a rest for support because what we're going to do is tilt or push back through the elbow. And you see how his back lifts. We'll do that again. And ideally, we want to hold it for about 3 seconds. Oh boy. Oop. So that was a little too much on my part. Cut that out. Hi, buddy. I know that was rude, wasn't it? Okay, let's try again. And it might be helpful to have a buddy the first time around because sometimes it's hard to see from this. Ooh, you're okay. You don't need to step. Good. And see how he swings back forward.
All right, so this is a pretty basic warm-up exercise. Once your horse is a little bit more fit, like I said, hopefully there's not too much wind happening. I'm on Gunner. He's a pretty fit little horse. He's packing on a few more pounds that I would really like, but underneath all that, he's definitely very fit. So the exercise is really simple. You're going to establish a an oval in your arena. So my arena is pretty small, so it's really simple. I'm going to use the whole arena, but just kind of cut off the corners and make an oval. We'll go ahead and make a trot. And this is really important because we don't want to really make our horse do any significant amount of bending or ask them to do really any major body manipulation. So even though Gunner's kind of counterbending here, I'm not going to be too picky about that. We're just going to work on going forward in an oval shape. All right, so to start with, down the long side of my oval, I'm going to ask for a really big trot. Really, really big. And when I get to the top of my oval, I'm going to shorten that trot up. Good. And long oval, put my hand forward a bit and really open that trot up. To the top of my oval, bring him back. Bring him back. And forward. Really nice and big. He's kind of counterbending, so we don't want to cut off our oval too much. Nice and big. So this is going to change the amount of tax that's on your horse's cardiovascular system. Going to introduce some variability, which will increase the resilience of the cardiovascular response. And then it's also going to introduce some in-gait transitions, which are really good for your horse's muscling. So every time I open up that trot and ask him to drive off of the hind, he's pushing a little bit more off of his hindquarters, increasing the power. And then when I bring him down, we're increasing the amount of resistance on the entire musculoskeletal frame.
Look at her go.
Big open trot. And that's how you do it. Wow, he is tired. Okay.
Slaya.